Epstein case closed. We can all move on from Epstein now, you guys. It's as I said. There is no client list. Epstein, basically totally innocent. Yes, thousands of victims, but no co-conspirators, no other guilty parties. DOJ and FBI says there is no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed anyone or had a client list. The files relating to Epstein include a large volume of images of Epstein, images and videos of victims who are either minors or appear to be minors, and over 10,000 download videos and images of illegal child sex abuse material and other pornography. Teams of agents, analysts, attorneys, and privacy and civil liberties experts combed through the digital and documentary evidence with the aim of providing as much information as possible to the public while simultaneously protecting victims. Much of the material is subject to court-ordered sealing. Only a fraction of this material would have been aired publicly had Epstein gone to trial, as the seal served only to protect victims and did not expose any additional third parties to allegations of illegal wrongdoings. Through this review, we found no basis to revisit the disclosure of those materials and will not permit the release of child pornography. The systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. There was also no credible evidence found that Epstein blackmailed prominent individuals as part of his actions. We did not uncover evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Literally nobody else has dirty hands in all of this. And that's it. Investigation's over. Case closed. There was no blackmailing. Okay. It was just a bunch of bros having a good time. Just bros being bros, having sex parties. Just as simple as that. And by bros, I mean literally just Epstein himself and nobody else who we could ever possibly find in charge. Also, Epstein did kill himself. They've done an investigation. They reviewed all the evidence, and Epstein killed himself. So there you go, you guys. Glad we can all move on from this. Just got an Epstein binder in February versus now. I want answers on Epstein, not press releases, answers. Well, you just got your answer. There is nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing to see here. I almost feel bad for the people who got these binders because it's like they didn't know. And like if I got invited to the White House to get an Epstein binder, I would have gone and I would have been in the picture. All it's done now is like stained their reputations, all these people. Now people have been pulling up some of the old tweets and videos here, like back in February, Pam Bondi, the Epstein client list is on my desk right now to review. And then yesterday, Trump's DOJ and FBI conclude Epstein had no client list and committed suicide. Trump.
You know, the biggest change I've seen in Congress is Israel literally owned Congress. You understand that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And it was so powerful. And we're not talking about over a very long period of time. But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. They had such power. Israel had such power, and rightfully, over Congress. And now it doesn't.
And rightfully? It's kind of weird. Kind of a weird thing to say. And rightfully so. This is from back in February. This is when they were originally like rolling out the release, right? This is Alina Habba, who is an attorney general, New Jersey, I want to say, and counselor to the president in the Trump administration. So part of the Trump administration, one of their lawyers. Here's what she said back in February.
But in this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court, but again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Cash and Pam, there will be accountability.
What a strange thing to say when there's no evidence of anybody doing anything. Old video of Dan Bongino talking about this.
Huge story. Again, not a lot of people are talking about. There is a little current of information I'm getting that the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi may be finally releasing a lot of information on this Jeffrey Epstein case, which is a huge deal. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I'm hoping it does. I've been covering it for a long time. The Jeffrey Epstein case, you do not know all the details of this thing, I promise. There are a lot of really obviously powerful people. This part you know, but the specific names we may not, including, I believe, the Clintons, based on information I discussed yesterday, who were knee-deep in involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, and no one can figure out what the level of entanglement is.
Whoa, the Clintons are finally going down, you guys. It's happening as soon as they release the files.
Jeffrey Epstein met with Obama's fixer, his lawyer, Catherine Rumler, who was always the one in the middle of these Obama scandals, and we can't figure out why, what they're hiding. Here's Marsha Blackburn, who has been all over this. She's a senator from Tennessee, Republican, obviously. And she's like, hey, man, is it time now? It's time to start overturning that rock and seeing what's underneath it. Check this out.
I've repeatedly requested a subpoena for the complete unredacted Epstein flight logs from the FBI. I've also pushed for the release of Ghislaine Maxwell's unredacted little black book of contacts and addresses. The American people have the right to know who flew on his planes, who witnessed the crimes, and who potentially participated in his global sex trafficking ring. Yet time and again, in the last Congress, Democrat leadership and then FBI Director Wray stonewalled my requests. But now, with Republican control of Congress and President Trump back in the Oval Office, we're going to see some real change on this issue. Just last week, the president's excellent pick for FBI Director Kash Patel vowed to work with me in releasing the Epstein records and breaking apart the trafficking rings that harm countless women and children across our country. To be clear, this is not a celebrity issue. This is about ending modern-day slavery and finding out who is participating in these sex trafficking rings.
Did you hear the key part of that? The Ghislaine Maxwell Black Book. What names are in there, man? You understand how many powerful people probably want this thing to desperately go away? How many people were interconnected with this Epstein sex ring operation? I heard from a reporter once that there are tapes. A very well-respected reporter, many of you know, that there are a lot of tapes out there of a lot of people. I'm not ever going to let this story go because of what I heard from a source about Bill Clinton on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein. I talked about it yesterday. You can go check it out. I'm not letting it go ever.
Narrator. He was about to let it go. Kash Patel, 2023 versus 2025.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right?
And I've said it, Dan Bongino said it, we've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this. Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on?
Yes.
Where's the videotape?
I do think that now. I think Here's what I think. I think they have a long list of people who they know went to the island, but it's very difficult to prove beyond that. I think some of them are probably somewhat identifiable in videos, but there's so many like famous people, and they know that the public is like obsessed with this in like a way that is also like borderline pathological. They're like, oh, if we put out this list, like somebody's gonna like murder Tom Hanks, you know, or whatever, whoever it is. And they just decided like it's just too much of a headache. Like the best thing that can happen is for this to all just go away because it's too messy and we don't actually know who to charge and we can't charge all these people and they're too rich and they're too famous and this and that. That's what I think happened. Yeah, too big. They're too big to fail. I do think Kash Patel and Dan Bongino would agree to that in a backroom meeting. Jeffrey Epstein victim.
I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes. And I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being raped over and over and over again. And yes, Ghislaine must die in prison because I've been in hell and back for the last 17 years.
And 27 for me.
I was 10 years old when Liz Stein was being trafficked. I was 10. That is how long the sex trafficking ring has been going on.
Anyway, turns out she was wrong and there are no co-conspirators. And that's basically it. Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, P. Diddy, all innocent, all unfairly maligned, did nothing wrong. Gavin McGinnis has the breakdown here.
How about, have you seen what Candace Owens is doing with Harvey Weinstein? She's vindicating him.
I just saw that today, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Is that old news?
No, I think she's been going at this for months now, but apparently he got me too. Apparently he's innocent.
I agree. Very unpopular opinion.
I love how fast you were to agree to that.
Man, Gavin's getting old. That's going to be me in like another 1 year. It's brutal, man. One day you're going along, you're a little gray, but you still got that pep in your step. And then one day you wake up and you're like just a shadow of your former self.
Harvey Weinstein did nothing wrong.
Nothing.
He said, suck my dick and you can be in a bunch of movies. What would happen if Harvey said that to you? You'd be like, no, thanks. Guess I won't be in a ton of movies.
Oh, hold on. What movie are we talking about? Can I be the next Aragorn in the Lord of the Rings remake? Can I be in Top Gun?
Not on my radar, thanks.
Oh, God.
Marissa Tomei was like, he said if I don't fuck him, I won't be in movies. Okay, get another trade then.
Yeah, it's not like he's holding a gun. It's not like he's holding a gun to your
I feel the same way about P. Diddy. He raped me 37 times. Oh my God, that's horrible. What kind of cage were you in? Oh, no, I would go home and then I would come back for the next rape. Okay. What did the police say? Oh, I didn't go to the police. Okay, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And this is where it gets real controversial.
The man's got a point.
Jeffrey Epstein couldn't care less. Now, if you find a 12-year-old...
Jeffrey Epstein couldn't care less.
I couldn't care less. But
you couldn't care about Jeffrey Epstein?
Don't give a shit. Now, if you find me a prepubescent girl that was fucked there against her will, by all means, I want to murder everyone involved with an M16 and bury them under the fucking jailhouse.
Yeah.
But like a voluntary 17-year-old, well, I'd like to beat up her dad. But all these post-pubescent sex party shit, I think it dilutes the actual child trafficking children.
Yeah.
That are being shipped all over America right now to the tunes of hundreds of thousands.
Well, it was that with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. They were shipping over like 12-year-olds.
Okay. If I looked that up, I couldn't find it. But show me a 12-year-old and now I'm mad.
Jean-Luc Burnel, the fucking the French modeling agency guy, was shipping over 12-year-olds to Epstein Island. And like
I'm in.
Girls.
You show me a 12-year-old, I'm in.
Did you see
all
that?
I've seen is 17-year-olds.
Is that real? Grok, is that real? Allegations have surfaced in recently unsealed court documents that Jean-Luc Brunel trafficked girls as young as 12 to Jeffrey Epstein for sexual purposes. One accuser, Jane Doe 3, claims that Epstein trafficked her to Brunel many times. She further alleged witnessing Brunel engaged in illegal sexual acts with dozens of underage girls. So those allegations do exist. For all these Bronze Age pervert types of like, oh, hey man, it's just some 16 and 17-year-olds, like, relax, daddy, oh, be cool. I don't know, man. Maybe that girl's lying. Which sure would be nice to know. Sure would be nice if there was professional multi-million-dollar funded system in place that could get to the bottom of things like that. But I guess we'll never know. Hey, what up, family? I'm a ding dong. It is I, your boy LP, and the clip you just watched is from my live stream show, The Daily Cope, which I do 4 to 5 times a week on Rumble, Odyssey, and my other YouTube channel. I will link all of them below if you want to check it out. And thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace out.